Yeah, yeah. Also, guys, your boy Good Savage back again for another Savage Talk Live. We are here to talk wrestling from around the world. Welcome, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well. First and foremost, let's get them expletives out of the way. Is everybody healthy? Is everyone taking care of themselves? That's the main thing, more than anything. Physically, mentally, is everybody good? You know what I'm saying? It's good to be back. I love being here with you guys. Talking pro wrestling. It's been very interesting this week. As usual, some positives, some negatives. But like I said to you before, I'm in a good place with wrestling now. I've accepted. Well, I mean, if it's on percentage, I've accepted about 85% of what I need to accept, and the other 15, just woosah, Zen mode, and then I'll just keep it. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that I'll never be able to come around to in pro wrestling. But all the things that have changed for the better or can be changed back or can be made to make a lot more sense. But we'll get into that today. We'll cover a few topics. AEW, WWE. Don't think I've got anything on Impact. If I do, I'll get around to that. Thinking about start doing some Impact reaction videos, to be honest. I can't stand it though, if I'm honest. There's a few matches and stuff I like, I really watch Impact now for Mickey James, if I'm honest. Which is a great compliment to her. And then we'll see. But yeah, like I said, enjoying the wrestling content from around. I'm gonna get into the comment section and see what the people are saying. Welcome, Demon Team. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Well, I say hit the like button. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not really in the YouTube zone like that. I always ends up just being like randomly hit the like button. But realistically, if you don't like the video, don't hit it. You know what I mean? But you can't hit the dislike one because it doesn't exist. So please subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this chat. Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. Pause. Skip that. Hey, shout out to Brother Nero, man. Good to see you in the chat, brother. Hope you're okay. Anna, shout out to you, Anna. I seen you in the comment section. Come on now. Demon Team Original. You know the vibes. Yeah, man. We're here. Shout out to you, Jamie. I see you changed your name. Why can you change your name? Have you changed your name of your channel as well, Jamie? Or is it just for this current chat? But yeah, man, you're looking forward to the game tonight. I think by the time I finish here, I'll have about half an hour for watch that game, and then I'll probably be in the Coppish comment section after. So I'll see you there, brother. Yeah, man, it's good to be here, bro. We're gonna get into a few things. Anyone who joins later on can join later on. Anyone who watches later on and not live, shout out to you guys as well. Hearts Live. Yeah, we work with a website now. Yeah, I have to check it out as a website then, Jamie, because I've got you wouldn't believe it, man. I've been on YouTube for so long. Everyone assumes that like the Savage Reaction channel, / Pro Wrestling Savage has been my main channel, but I've had channels just to make money for years. Yeah, it's been a bit of a mad one still. So I've got a few channels floating around. Tried to consolidate a lot of them now, because some of them are just for finances and making money. I don't really care. That's whatever. And then I've got like a football channel, which I don't really bother with, which I should do. The main reason with my football channel is why I don't do anything is because I started it on my own when Liverpool were going for the league title. And then I stopped about a couple games before because of lockdown. Then I carried on doing it. Then my friend wanted to get involved. He wanted to do football podcasts. So we've done a podcast on there, but he's not as consistent as I am. And then it became like trying to do a one-man podcast was a bit of a problem. But I think Brother Nero just alluded to it here about doing a pro wrestling podcast. Yeah. That was a natural thought of mine. I was thinking about getting some of you guys involved, to be honest. And I want to do more with getting you guys involved in this show as well. But I need more people to turn up so I can, when I'm sending a message out, everyone's here to get that message, because otherwise you'll get like 4 people getting it, 6 people getting it, 9 people, and then people don't watch it all the way through. Shout out to Amin in the chat, but I do want to get you guys calling in on some of these wrestling shows. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. I did that on my football channel for a while, but it'd be cool instead of just talking to you just through the comment section. They'll come on for a bit. We do like an hour plus on here, so because there's not that many of us, we can get like 5 minutes per person to come on, have a chat. In fact, I think I can fit quite a few on the screen at the same time, so we could have like a full on talk on there, and then go through that way. But I think it's a cool idea. I definitely want to get back to my football channel as well, though. But yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy it. Brother Nero, man, kind words, brother. You're my guy. You've been around for so long as well, man. So shout out to you for that. Um, Appreciate you. Almost deleted this channel. Want to find out? Oh, okay. I get what you mean, brother Nero. Yeah, man. The whole like Savage Reaction, Pro Wrestling Savage thing. Listen, it's still the same thing. You still got a hat on. But basically, what I did is we're in lockdown. Obviously, no one knew that was coming, so everything else had stopped around the world, kind of, and like even with like movie trailers and stuff like that, not as much was coming out and things like that. So let's switch it all up to wrestling for a year and see how it goes. But yeah, man, the wrestling companies were moving a little bit mad, man. I feel like there's someone hating out there who's saying stuff to these wrestling companies what ain't true. Because I'm in contact with these guys, emails and stuff like that. And some of the things they're saying, I'm like, I never said that on my channel. I've always been quite complimentary of all wrestlers on this channel. I don't really lay into any particular wrestler personally, anyway. And in the ring, I can count on my hand the amount of people that I don't like, which is pretty much Goldberg and Ronda Rousey. So I don't, I don't know. Maybe it was Ronda, man, because she's got issues. We got to talk about Ronda today as well. I mean, I watched a little bit of the bump yesterday, but obviously, as soon as Goldberg came on, I turned it off. I know that's a good idea. More interactive, get more eyes on the product, build demon teams. So, yeah. Well, and if you're up for that as well, and I know a few views are on here, then we'll do that because I think it would be cool. And the same with watch-alongs as well. You can come on while the watch-alongs on and be talking stuff, but the problem is sometimes is some people are watching abroad on Peacock, some people are watching on BT, some people are watching the WWE Network, and there's always a delay and stuff like that. And I don't want no 1, 2, 3 spoilers, like that. Savage, my only prediction is Jeff Hardy at Revolution and maybe unlocking Wyndham debut on the same night. Okay, well, the thing is, I've got all these things written down right now, so we're going to talk about that, of course. Sometimes WWE stuff. Let's try and no Kevin Owens sign back. Yeah. Let's get into this then. No point waiting around. We'll start off on the biggest talking points of the last 24 hours. I say one talking point. It's two really, but I think a lot more eyes are on Keith Lee because of WWE is the biggest wrestling brand in the world. It's one of the biggest brands in the world, so more eyes on that. But if you know about New Japan and Jay White, then yeah, man. So as who had him, man. Keith Lee and Jay White are AEW. They are all elite. Who is next? That is my question. I really want to know. I really want to know everyone's views on it. I think we've got a bit of an idea who people think will be next. I said the same thing. You seen the thumbnail. Let's get into this, man, because I'm thinking, well, Savage, are you going to do NXT Vengeance? Stay watching on. You know what? I keep forgetting that it's happening. I feel like I only just done the watch along to the last one, but I'll see and I'll let you know. You know what I mean? The only problem with WWE doing this thing now where it's like separate days and all this business, taking up a lot of my weekends and stuff, and I work throughout the week doing loads of different things. So I try to have the weekends more for family time and stuff like that. But we'll see. I'll definitely have some kind of reaction out for it. I want to see Daniel Bryan doing stuff. Yes, that's Anna. That's exactly what I thought. As soon as I seen, first of all, Jay White appeared first on AEW, so the way he appeared was pretty cool. I liked he was understated. He wasn't over the top, and I get it as well because AEW is starting to become that company now where I think AEW is not as good as everybody thinks, but it's not as bad as the haters try and make out. AEW is really good for what it is, but there's still a few missing things. And at the moment, we haven't had any downtime in AEW where talent who were previously in a different brand, mainly WWE, haven't appeared yet. We haven't had any downtime. The biggest downtime we had was at the beginning of lockdown, and that's because AEW, they started in 2019 October, I think, and then lockdown was in March/April. So they only had like 6 months of being there anyway, and that was a lot of Matt Hardy and Jericho. Shout out to them for holding it down, but I feel like I'm ready for AEW downtime now where I can really hone in on the product and enjoy it properly. Do I enjoy it? I do, but I'm always left underwhelmed once the program's finished. Like the stories are not really big stories. They're it's a lot of names, and to the point of it's starting to like it's just starting to be names and people wrestling each other, which is fine. But it gives me, and I guess it's based on what wrestlers are there. It gives me independent wrestling vibes on a big scale. So WWE was giving me pro wrestling vibes, but it's dying down a little bit. Um, Whereas AEW is giving me all the halls and social clubs I've been to watch wrestling, which I love, by the way. But I go to watch indie wrestling for a reason. There's a reason why I go to that and WWE, and I feel like they mimic what's going on. Um, so they need to hone another product a little bit more, and they need to um, start hitting them stories a little bit harder. It's going to be hard because they've only got 2 shows. I'm not going to count Dark Elevation and all that business, but they've only got 2 shows. Rampage isn't on for very long. They've got so much talent. I think before Christmas, I counted 113 people on their roster, and at the time, I think 39 of them were from WWE. And now we've got Keith Lee. Um, I said who's next because I'm expecting, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I did tell everyone last year that Jeff Hardy wasn't going to stay in WWE, and I did say this over and over again, week after week, and I really think, along with Brother Nero, that Jeff Hardy will be making the debut at Revolution. Based on, it's not rumors for me. It's based on, I watched a video from Matt Hardy where I think WWE had apologized or something like that because they offered him rehab and stuff like that. But basically, what happened is he did have a um a drug test what came back negative, and it wasn't really relayed to the fans. So as far as we know, we seen him at a house show acting weird. It did look like he was on something or drinking. Then he left. Then WWE often offered him rehab, which he denied, which is all a true story. I think Matt Hardy said that John Laurinaitis phoned him, but then he's trying to clear his name. The fact that, listen, I'm not on drugs. It came back negative. Matt Hardy was clear on that, and the fact that that did means that there's nothing for him to rehab off. So I'm expecting Jeff Hardy to turn up. Which Jeff Hardy? I'm expecting Willow because I don't think he's going to want the feel of WWE on him going into a new into AEW. And to be fair, I don't want it on him either. Jeff Hardy's a legend to me. I've told you guys this many a times growing up that The Rock and Jeff Hardy were my guys. But AEW is really fast for Jeff. You can tell he's got back problems and stuff like that, the way he was moving around in the ring in WWE. So he's going to have to bring something new. And Willow's a weird, eerie, creepy character, which I think will be cool. The only thing I disagree with Brother Nero on this part is the fact that he said about him unlocking Wyndham, which I will get into later on because I have another topic ready for Wyndham. But I do think we need to get vignettes. I wouldn't have him debut at Revolution, which might be a hot take, but I would have the first vignette of Willow at Revolution, and then I wouldn't debut him until 6 weeks after. Just let him randomly turn up. But yeah, Brother Nero did. Anna says the card is stacked. Big facts. Brother Nero love indie wrestling. I think we all do, but there is like no, we're not used to seeing indie wrestling on TV, and we're getting a lot of that now, which means the wrestling's great. But then when you want a bit more story to it, they have a little bit of it, and then they don't have it. Almost, for example, we'll get people like there's loads of them, and even the way like Adam Cole is not like the big stories. Jade Cargill's my favorite wrestler in the AEW, but she's just beating people up, and there's nothing behind. You know what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying there. Anna, yeah, they gave him his results really. It's messed up. Offered him Hall of Fame, well, backhanded. Yeah, it's very backhanded. You can't release man and give him Hall of Fame. I mean, it might work with, Mickey James, but you can't just do that to Jeff. When Jeff Hardy see WWE, maybe him and AEW. No, I think he didn't. He meant WWE, but obviously they released him, so now he's got to take it. Savage, I know CM Punk versus MJ round 2. I think MJF's going to win again. Joshua Ortiz, I wish Jeff came back to WWE for the Universal title. I think there's a mismatch with him fighting against Roman right now. I know Jeff was really keen on fighting Roman, but there was something missing from Jeff's game. where he needed more of a character to supplement the fact that he's not as powerful in the ring anymore. Um, the good wrestlers do that. And Jeffy is a really good wrestler, and obviously they were holding him back a little bit. If anyone watched Jeff's interview with Ryan Saturn, maybe about 2 months something before he got released, if you watch it and you hear him, he's pretty much saying that like the stuff he wants to do, but he'll do anything for WWE because he just seems happy to be there. And then they released him, so yeah. Anna, I said this. I would the version yet. Yes, you see what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying. I think it's perfect because, like I said, AEW is turning into that company now where people just, you know, what I mean, it was fun at first listening to like the Forbidden Door thing, but now it's like, oh my god, like if I hear another commentator say the Forbidden Door, it just sounds cheesy now. Ah, the Forbidden Door's open. It's Jay White. Okay. Ah, the Forbidden Door's open. It's Mickey James. The Forbidden Door. Stop now. Stop. It was fun at first, but now it's just like, okay, the door's not forbidden, then is it? Like a forbidden door would be a one-off person turning up, but the door's not really forbidden if you can keep walking through that door. So, so do you think double or nothing, especially AEW? Brother Nero, hold that thought on Wyndham, anything about him, because I literally got a topic based on just him. Jeff doing full-time card is too much. He ain't 20s no more. He needs a lower pace card. Yeah, that's why AEW works out perfect to him. Slap him on Rampage. They'll probably end up doing another reunion with the Hardy Boys. I literally said that a year ago that's going to happen. He will leave WWE and end up in AEW to team up with his brother. But I think give him something on his own first. Amin says, I hope Roman beats the shit out of Goldberg at Elimination Chamber. I'm hoping for pure annihilation of Goldberg. Bleeding head, passed out, beat up his son as well. I'm here for all of it. I'm done with that guy, bro. Like, it's yeah. Anyway, Keith Lee. Brother Neil, are you loving Solo Sikoa on NXT Savage? Yeah. I'm sorry for you guys that you haven't seen any NXT reactions off me for ages. Literally, I just wake up and watch it now. Or I'll just watch it before I go to bed. But I will start doing what I'm going to start doing. If you guys are on Instagram, you have to follow me on there because I'm going to start doing my AEW video reactions and NXT on Instagram just for the fact I can't get copyrighted on there. They can take it down, but I won't get copyrighted. So AEW's a bit dodgy. The Keith Lee video's got no video in it, so they shouldn't be able to touch that one. But on to Keith Lee, man. The music hit. Didn't recognize the music. But I seen Limitless on the screen, and you guys would have seen from my reaction. Yeah, Big Keith's back. Powerful guy, man. I couldn't help but think straight away as he came out, and I said I'll keep it off the video because it's not negativity really, but I just think he's one of them large. He's just one of them guys that when as soon as I seen him, I was like, damn WWE, this guy was on. You had this guy. You really did, and he was great in the ring today. He didn't really get to do any of that stuff. What he was doing in the ring today on the main roster in WWE, it was kind of feed him to Drew, Randy, and then he was Bearcat Lee, and then he kind of came back as Bearcat Lee, started to do the aggressive thing, got released. Shout out to you, Amin. Thank you for that. Anna says, clear dear. God, I need Roman to annihilate Moldberg. Yeah, get rid of him. Keith Lee theme, not bad. I don't like it, to be honest. I need bask in his glory, for he is limitless. That's what I needed still, but you know what I mean. It's quite funny because obviously when Keith was off with his heart problems, which that's not funny, by the way, but when he was off, do you remember that was going through that lawsuit with WWE where he was trying to get the rights to his name while he was part of WWE? That worked out perfect, didn't it? He got the rights to that. He won that case, and then they got rid of him anyway, so he can keep the name Keith Lee. They can have the Bearcat, but he keeps the name Keith Lee. I agree with, I seen Anna put it in the comment section earlier as well, that the fact that they brought him in just as regular Keith Lee with the same attire was perfect for me as well. Rechanging him again would have not made any sense. But he was great in his debut. He did everything perfect. He looked super strong, athletic. He looked better than ever. He only got married last week, so I'm happy for him and Mia Yim as well. They look very happy together. Shout out to them too. I'm excited to see what comes of it. So happy it wasn't a typical squash. He needs to show that what he can do, but without Rich. Yes, exactly. I was actually a fan of Keith Lee before WWE as well. it was hard to get like footage of him and stuff like that. But it was crazy on the Indies. I remember watching him have a match against me and Yim, I think. There must have not been a couple at the time. I don't know how long they've been together, but he had a match against her, I think, or he powerbombed her or something. I remember watching that. But he needs to be careful because I do think that, like I said, AEW is so stacked and they're stacked with talent. They're not stacked with jobbers, which is even harder, by the way, because with the jobbers, you can feed them in here and there. With so much talent, you got to keep them all happy. Only a few people can go for a title. There's not enough storylines there to make it interesting, so they're gonna have to get somebody in to work on that. I think they might have to get like a proper writer or something like that, man. You know what I mean? Now, if I was AEW, bro, I'm not joking. Go hit up Vince Russo. I'm saying, have a word. Anna Hill's program with Dijakovic was incredible. It was dope, and that was in. There was no fans, was there? And had the best. Was it the best of 3 matches? Some of the best matches I've seen. He doesn't, like I said, he needs to be careful. Because like I feel like Adam Cole ain't hit the heights that he should have yet, but it's starting to look good for Adam Cole, and I'm enjoying them anyway. So we had him and Jay White debut. Obviously, Keith Lee's debut was in the ring. Jay White one's going to be interesting because it was the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, but then you got the undisputed thing going on as well. I don't think they thought that through properly, and it's just a mush of loads of people. But we'll see what happens there. Who's next? Obviously, we said Jeff Hardy. Miriam's on the thumbnail for the video because I just believe that if she's going to continue wrestling, of course, she's going to come to AEW. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Do they bring her in as Keith Lee's anything to do with Keith Lee? I mean, you know, we know the truth and all that stuff like that, but I mean, did they put them together or did they keep them separate and do their own thing? Should be good for the women's division. Mia Yim is way better than everyone thinks, but that's because she's shown it a little bit in NXT, and then obviously the moved her to the main roster, but never showed her on TV for ages, and then just released her. So, but I'm very interested to see. I think their women's division struggling a little bit AEW's, but to be fair, so is everyone's. But they're doing a bit more focus on it. Britt Baker's amazing, Jade Cargill's amazing, Thunder Rose. They've got some great wrestlers there, but we'll see. Shout out to Ahmed Savage. Your reaction to Oldberg coming back was. It's like we don't want him to come back. Your typical Oldberg segment calling out for a title shot. I mean, let's talk about Goldberg for a second. I didn't have a whole segment down to talk about him, but we can talk about him a second. So I just want to put this out there. And you know what? I don't even need to. I'm not going to do all of this disclaimer business because, of course, I'm not talking about the personal man because it's all wrestling. So keep it in the context of wrestling here. First of all, growing up, I watched Monday Nitro, Thunder. I think I was watching on like Channel 4 or something at the time, and then I had cable, so I was watching. Bravo used to go turn into Nitro or whatever. Was it no? Bravo used to turn into TNT at 9 o'clock. Then WCW used to come on. I was with WCW growing up. I was a massive fan of cruiserweights on it. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Psychosis, these kind of people, and then obviously the big stars as well with the big matches. But I was always a bit salty that the big stars left WWE, so I didn't care about them as much. Even as a kid, Goldberg was winding me up with his stupid record. And I was the most unhappy guy when he turned up in WWE. Obviously, he turned up Spear the Rock. I wasn't happy about it, but I just wasn't interested anyway. And obviously, throughout that time, I grew up. And while I was growing up, he was still in these segments. I was the guy that every time Triple H was hitting this guy with a sledgehammer or Ric Flair was trapping him in the chamber and stuff like that, I was happy that he was getting his ass whooped. So for me, they can't fool me with the Goldberg chants because I watch Raw live and I watch the YouTube clip, and you can hear, I can see the crowd's mouth, and I can see a few people saying Goldberg, but on the audio is Goldberg, and it's perfect. And I'm like, they have it on the game, innit? It sounds like the 2K crowd. No one cares. People have someone said in my comment section earlier, I didn't block the comment because I'm not like that unless you like race or something like that. But they were kind of had a go at me, told me to shut the fuck up and all this business. The fans are happy to see Goldberg back. And I said to the guy, not true. That's what I left it at. Go and see around the world, Twitter, everywhere. I know Twitter's not the best, you know what I mean? But just go look around people's comment sections, go to all the wrestling channels, the wrestling news channels, and you'll see that people ain't happy to have him back. People are forgetting that the match what he had with Bobby Lashley. First of all, that was one of the better matches. Second of all, he won, which that shouldn't have happened with that slow ass spear off the stage. That wasn't that long ago. When was that? October or something like that. So you're pretty much telling me WWE I can't suspend disbelief while I'm watching wrestling when I know that every time the green and gold comes around for Saudi Arabia, Goldberg's turning up. Not only is he turning up, every time he turns up, he demands the Universal title shot. Now, I'm a caveat that with this, just so you know where my head's at, because I know it's not about me being biased or anything like that. Shout out to you, Ahmed. See, I knew it was October. Every time Undertaker returned, now Undertaker's got way more stock in WWE. He's Mr. WWE. He's a complete legend, one of the greatest to ever do it. I was even getting the thing with Undertaker when that music goes off, sends chills from my body, and then everything I said about him goes out the window until it settles down. And I'm like, he probably should be giving up now, but he's done so much in his career in WWE that he probably should be able to decide himself. He every time Undertaker came back, he didn't. I'm not making this up. He did not demand the title shot. Not one time in this whole how many years now since WrestleMania 31, he fought Bray Wyatt, and for a year before that, he was off because he had lost to Brock. So we'll say from WrestleMania 30 till just when he had left, he didn't demand a title shot not one time. In that space, Goldberg demanded the title shot every time he came back. This is not lies. I think it was only the match against Dolph Ziggler what didn't involve him trying to go for a title, but Braun, Brock, Roman, Kevin Owens. Did I say Drew already? The list got, you see what I'm saying? Like every time he comes back, he wants a title shot. Now we call him Oldberg and stuff like that. I try not to be disrespectful because if you go and look up everyone's age, he's actually close in age with all the guys still. But there's something different in it. There's something different about this guy. Now, it's not realistic for me to watch him fight Roman Reigns and even put up a good fight against him. Yeah, I mean, because Roman should finish him. He's way more, he's younger, he's more agile, he's way faster. It wasn't realistic for me to watch him put up a fight against Brock. It wasn't realistic for me to watch put up a fight against Bobby Lashley. It wasn't realistic for me to see him beat Dolph Ziggler because I don't know how you caught him because he was moving slow. When he beat Kevin Owens, it had to be a quick spear, but Kevin Owens will whoop your ass. So that's what I'm saying about Goldberg. I'll leave it there. Roman, do me and the Demon team and the fans around the world a favor and end it slowly. I'll take a guillotine, like what you did to Seth, but I want blood to come from the mouth. And there I've said it. And a bulky, one-dimensional guy with free move does not do it for me. No, he doesn't. And not only does he not do it for me, that's okay in the 90s if you're doing that for a year. But after the year, you have to start adjusting the moveset. How does Great Khali have more moves than Goldberg? This is 20, I don't know, 25 years of Goldberg? Come on, man. Savage, I need Danielson to do a program the other way. Nato could, oh, mate. I'm here for Daniel Bryan versus Okada and Daniel Bryan versus Will Ospreay. In fact, give me a triple threat with all of them. Sign me up. I'm there for it. Anna, the question as well. I don't know if you've seen it. It keeps popping up on my Instagram, and the guys keep in contact me through email that they're doing the watch party for Revolution and they're doing a watch party for, I don't know if it's for the Saudi Elimination Chamber as well in Birmingham. Gosta Green or something like that. So let me know if you know about that. I might drop in on one of them soon. They keep messaging me. I was going to do a WrestleMania one, but we'll see. It's always Lesnar and Goldberg getting the title shots. Yeah, big facts. I will say Brock Lesnar is more. It's way more realistic. You know what I'm saying? So, but you are right. Savage, this is Drew, Happy Corbin, and Madcap Moss rivalry going. Bro, it's the terrible. It's just a terrible rivalry, to be honest. It's funny, but it's terrible. Moving on to the next topic. Ronda, she's spoken. She has spoke on the fans. Again, um, more about herself this time. Very interesting to see. Everyone knows about my relationship with Ronda Rousey. It's a weird one. You would never see a switch up like this in any with me and anyone. But when I mean that I was a Ronda fan, I ain't gonna say I fanboyed over her, but me and Ronda in UFC, the amount of times I stayed up till 6 in the morning to watch Ronda, I watched every one of her fights. I watched her from being the first ever women's UFC champion, and then just building her way up to movies and magazines and TV shows, and I was happy for her. You know what I mean? She deserved it. She put her work in. It's not like she was handed everything. She tapped out everyone, armbar thing. Arrogance crept in a little bit. Then I read the story about I only get into her in the next partner and stuff like that. But people always want to bring up domestic violence and that. But if you go Google what Ronda did to somebody before, I don't know why it's okay because it's the other way because she's a woman because she's not a regular everyday woman who isn't trained in fighting, is she? So I thought that was a bit dodgy, but you know, I mean, whatever. Um, then I was a fan of Nunes as well at the time, but I seen how Ronda was in the build up to the Nunes fight, and I was off her pretty fast. Then I didn't like the way she handled losing. She just went silent. She just didn't even comment at all. Came back like 4 months later, maybe a little bit longer. Refused to do the build up and all the vignettes and all the promo um, with Nunes, which obviously is stopping Nunes' money because they need to sell the fight. She was going to get the bigger purse, even though Nunes was the champion. She did it against Holly Holmes as well. So, you know what I mean? And when Holly kicked her neck off. And then, yeah, it was just this weird thing of going silent. There was just pictures of her like putting the bins out and that, but she wouldn't talk to anyone. She was being very disrespectful of the sport. I don't like that when people are disrespectful of them kind of things, you know what I mean? Because you wasn't disrespectful while you were still winning. And bear in mind, when that build up was happening to the Nunes fight, she'd just been in Fast and Furious, so Fast and Furious and Expendables, I think. So her stock was high. Um, yeah, and then I just didn't like. So then, by the time she got to the WWE, if you go and look back at any of my reactions, you will see me excited that somebody's coming from the UFC. Let's see what happens to give her another chance. And then it dawned on me pretty fast that she was just the same, even worse. I don't think she learned the craft of pro wrestling properly, so it seemed a bit dodgy with the stuff she was doing. But I could deal with not being as good in the ring. You know what I mean? But she wasn't good on the mic either. Everything sounded like she read it on a piece of paper in the gorilla position and they tried to remember it in the ring. I remember there's that one promo what she's quoting on Nikki Bella, which by the way was a good match. Ronda versus Nikki at Women's Evolution, the first one, or Women's Revolution. Um, but yeah, she made some promo. Oh yeah, the only door you kick down is the door to John Cena's hotel. I'm like, yeah, that does. First of all, that doesn't even make sense because they were engaged and he clearly proposed to her at the WrestleMania not long before, in the middle of the ring. So then she was just cutting all these death promos, and then there was the whole thing with her, Becky, and Charlotte. The best, no joke, the best segment I seen with Ronda Rousey was when her, Becky, and Charlotte were fighting each other before WrestleMania 35, and Charlotte big booted her face into the police door. It was the most realistic thing I've ever seen. It looked great. Obviously, when she got her ass whooped by Becky with the kendo stick, or was it Charlotte? And then she left. She walked out. She looked visibly unhappy, which you should do because you're a pro wrestler. You're here to tell a story. But she was visibly unhappy in real life with the fans. She was mad that the fans were booing her. It's pro wrestling. It's part of the job. Deal with it. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if Roman had done that back in the day? And then she started making her comments. You know what I mean? She lost WrestleMania, made her comments online. I don't want to get back into that now, but she kind of shot on pro wrestling. And it didn't seem like it was part of anything because, well, she left. So it didn't seem to be part of anything. So she's came out now. Her comments, what I've seen lately, when did she make them? I think it was after her appearance. But basically, she spoke on it. She was doing a Facebook stream on Sunday. And she said, it's hard not to take things personally from the fans. I don't go out there as I mean to. I do go out there as a character but I am also actually Ronda Rousey. I don't play Ronda Rousey on television, so sometimes I take it personally from the fans, not so much from the wrestlers, but the fans I do. She said. Um, so that's her latest comments, and obviously her comments before were when I think it was a tweet she put out. She said, "I've seen some fans chanting 'We want Wyatt' last night, chanting 'We want Beach Bulls' over Bray Wyatt's performing in the W. Treated him like he was expendable. It was because you ungrateful idiots did it first." To that tweet at the time, I agreed with what she said, um, but I don't think that's the person that we needed to hear that from, to be honest. So, but yeah, that's Ronda Rousey for you. Amin says, I know Ronda going for Charlotte Flair's title. Yes, she is. I actually thought he would have went the other way. I thought she would have went for Becky's. Um, Savage, I'm sick of Charlotte. Well, you know Charlotte's my favorite in the WWE, but listen, it's fine, man. I don't need Charlotte to be champion anymore, to be honest. She's great without being champion, but um, I think we had this discussion before because I think Anna made the comment about Liv Morgan at the time, and I agreed. I've been saying it the whole time. I like Liv Morgan, but the stuff that she does, what like it takes her back straight away, and I'm like, you can't be WWE champion. So then you look at the women's division and you realize that no wonder they keep switching between the same women as champions because the rest don't seem up to the level. Apart from like Naomi, who doesn't seem to get much of a chance, and Alexa, but the rest of them will be Becky, Sasha, Charlotte, Bailey. Um, my hope is the person that I want to be the next champion, which ain't gonna happen at this point, is whenever Lacey Evans returns. She was a breath of fresh air in the women's division. She was a great heel. She still had that beef with Charlotte over the Ric Flair thing. That would have been perfect for her to return and beat Charlotte, but I don't know. Walkabout have cancelled their Revolution watch party. They have. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I might put on one myself one day if I get enough subscribers to come down because I reckon I could fill up the place. Um, but yeah, that's enough on Ronda. Um, let's talk Wyndham. Bray motherfucking Wyatt. Let's talk this guy. We all love Bray. Wyndham. Never gonna get used to just calling him that, but I have to, I guess. Now I actually seen him. I seen him out on Instagram last week. Was it? He was at someone's wedding, and he was in the wedding photos. He looked good, man. Looked like he'd been keeping himself in shape and stuff like that. So that was nice to see. But my question is just this: Is Wyndham Rotunda done with wrestling? Um, Now we'll go back to Brother Nero. He did make a comment earlier saying that just Jeff Hardy unlock Wyndham. I don't think so, just because I feel like it'll be a waste of. He's too big for anyone else to be involved in his debut, if that makes any sense. So if Jeff Hardy just debuts and then they do that, I don't think it's not going to work out like how CM Punk and Daniel Bryan did. No, not CM Punk. Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole did. You know what I mean? Shout out to Pablo in the back. You can see him in the background, rolling around. He's are so funny. Um, I don't know. I said this to you guys when he left, and now that AEW are taking more and more ex WWE stars, he can return, and he can return in AEW. I personally would want him to return if he was going to do the Bray Wyatt thing. I'd have him as Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, and I'd forget the whole Fiend and Funhouse thing because I just don't think that works in AEW. Like I said, they're not doing the stories. Why is Pablo looking at me like that? They're not doing stories like that. I think they got rid of the whole like supernatural element already when Matt Hardy was like teleporting down the stairs and stuff like that. So I can't see that working out there. I could see him probably stretching himself across the world. He's that big that he could go Impact, AEW. I don't think New Japan for Bray, but he could go to all these different progress. He could turn up at all these different places, which would be cool. And I think he could shed some spotlight on talent around the world as well. But for me, he seems so creative that I think wrestling in terms of creativity is beneath him in the most respectful way, if that makes any sense. Some people's brain works it's so creative that they need to move on to another thing now. Wrestling is scripts and storylines and performing. It's like physically performing. It's like actors doing their own stunts. Um, I see this guy being a movie producer for some reason. I see him writing horror movies. Um, that's what I see him doing, and I think he could do it really well as well. Um, but I don't know. It's a strange one. The man's so talented that I just don't know. But something about AEW doesn't work for me with Bray Wyatt, and he doesn't fit. He fits WWE perfect, but they messed him around, and then I don't think he fits AEW. Impact he probably does fit, and if he could make them a little bit better, you know, what Impact need, they need a good investor, and they need Bray Wyatt, and they'll be sorted. And I think he's going to pick short-term contracts or crossover promotions contracts. I don't know if he'll do a full program. I don't think he'll do a full program ever again, and I don't blame him, to be honest. But it's going to be very interesting. But it's a question I pose because there's not. He let all the. I thought he was just going to let the talk die down about him and then surprise everyone because he was doing all the cryptic messages and stuff like that. But I think he's stepped back and seen himself that the place where I would have gone, AEW, where they would have paid me well, I would have had less work to do because I wouldn't be on the road every day. And I would have all the creative freedom because I would be one of the biggest stars there. Have now ended up with 40 plus members of WWE. Um, and now it's like, where do I fit in working with new talent and stuff like that? And don't get me wrong, AEW's done the movie scene thing a few times. They did it with Sting and was it Sting and Brian Cage? I don't even know, but that was dope. I thought that was Techers, but who knows? Um, the fans will follow him wherever he goes. He's one of the those wrestlers that brings eyes to whatever he does. You can also see him doing short horror films. Yeah, you see that. I mean, short horror films is for me. All it's going to take is some producer, which I'm sure I've already contacted him and said, "Listen, we've seen your performance in this. This geezer playing a psychopath in a movie would work out perfect. Now he would have to change his look and stuff because he's yeah, when I seen him in the wedding the other day, he still had the dreads and that. I think you might have to change his look for a movie role and whatever, which I'm sure he won't mind when you're picking up the millions. But yeah, I don't know. And I agree with you. I know the fans will follow him, but the fans are a little bit fickle, by the way. So I don't trust them 100%. I think they follow Funhouse Bray and The Fiend. But if he just decides to do anything else, I feel like it will wear off pretty fast. Um, I'm a massive fan of his. I always will be. I was a fan of him in NXT all the way up until he's been released. Um, I thought the way he changed from like Husky Harris to Bray Wyatt was perfect. The man's brain, I don't know, man. It's a shame what happened to NXT because in the pandemic, NXT was the best show on TV. From the beginning of the pandemic till we got to like a year and a half in, it was the best show. Um, until they started releasing wrestlers. And I felt like Triple H made that brand on par with SmackDown, Raw, and AEW and Impact. Bit better than them at the time. It was better than all of them apart from SmackDown, I think, or might be better than all of them. And if they had carried on and built that company up to where it's nowhere, it wouldn't be known as developmental anymore, and started to get more stuff in that could have been great. But it's a shame. Um, but we'll see. And I agree. If he changes the character, which personally I would enjoy, probably will alienate a lot of the current Brave fans. But he needs to evolve away from it. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. The outrage and stuff online when he had been released and then everything after that. Even I've seen people with like YouTube channels named after him, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's kind of cool, but that's how much invested they are. It's like me calling this channel like Tribal Chief, um, or the Bloodline or something like that. That invested to the point of when it stops being that, I can see them just starting to like talk about what he done before. But I would look. His character has steadily evolved over the years. So I would like to see that as well. But I can see him on doing like a bit of stuff with Free the Narrative as well with EC3 because that seemed like kind of the way with the creative. But we'll see. Mean says Savage, do you think Alexa Bliss is back to wrestling? I think they'll bring her back at the next pay per view after Elimination Chamber. Um, what I said was going to happen seems to be happening on Raw. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that, but I said when she done the first psychology class or whatever therapy, that I said that bit by bit she'll start coming back into the goddess, she'll start losing stuff. And I think over the weeks, I think subtly they've took away the black eye makeup and they've took away the contact lenses, and I think bit by bit she'll start to evolve back into regular. Alexa's one of the best on the roster, and she's incredible. That's another one I can see end up doing movies. I don't particularly enjoy the therapy sessions. I think they're a bit dumb, but they could be done a little bit better. But her herself, the acting she does, and when she just bursts into character and starts crying and stuff, I think it's incredible. So she's made for that, and I know she loves Disney movies and that, so they might just trap her in there for, I mean, for one of them roles. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to speak about Raw. I did the Raw what we just had was the worst Raw we've had in a while because it was terrible. It was terrible. Raw had been as bad as it since the turn of the year. Raw wasn't completely awful, but that Raw what we just got was trash. I need to speak on. I don't know. Apparently, they filmed 9 of those segments with. Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Where does that take us up to, Anna, in terms of weeks? Because I'm guessing she's going to return in a pay per view or something like that. But some of which will have been played 2 segments from Raw. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. But yeah, that was me on Wyndham. So we'll see what happens there. Um, Moving on to there, this last question for you guys, and then after this question, I'll just open up the floor. You can ask whatever you want for a little bit. Shout out to everyone who stayed around in the chat. See what I mean? There's not many of you guys in the chat. Luckily, I just want to talk wrestling anyway, but this is what I mean about the movement of the channel, because I'll get people saying, can you do this? Can you do Savage Talk? And that, then they don't turn up. So shout out Pablo in the back line on it. Yeah, man, you gotta love dogs, man. They just don't give a damn. These animals don't care. That's why Zuma. Oh, don't even get me started. Because if you didn't listen, but does pro wrestlers make sense? And I'm gonna need your help on this one as well. I'm gonna need your help on this one because I don't know if this thing is about my age. I don't know if it's me not willing to see change. I don't think it is because I'm actually quite progressive with the way I. Yeah, Anna said Pablo's a spirit animal. Yeah, man, that's him. I don't think it's me. I do take a look at myself. I'm quite self-aware, but this wrestling thing. Ah, Via Mahan! Don't get me started. Listen, they've been dropping vignettes on this guy for so long on that, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets released, bro. Because I don't know to this day where Elias is. But yeah, the problem I have is I said that to you guys when I've done a reaction after Royal Rumble that I was gonna do a video on the Royal Rumble about stuff that I think they messed up. And then I did the video and then copyright claim for something where I don't know why. They missed the trick with Royal Rumble. Because they're not getting people over anymore. Wrestling now is a different animal than what I fell in love with. Yeah, I know exactly, and I'm still giving it a chance over and over again. I feel like let's say W. I feel like pro wrestling is the girlfriend that you really love, and she just keeps texting other geezers, and because she didn't, because she didn't go all out and do anything with them, you keep giving her another chance, but bit by bit, she's starting to send them nudes and filthy stuff, and eventually I'm gonna snap and I won't be able to put with anymore because Royal Rumble for me, it didn't have any. There was no payoffs in the Royal Rumble for one person. Not one person. If I can remember the match off the top of my head, Doudrop and Becky, no payoff. Doudrop lost. She lost clean. She lost clean. Yeah, she lost clean. She got the move off the top rope. No payoff there. Seth and Roman, no payoff at all. And it's not because of how the match finished. It's because the next night on Raw, Seth came out on the Kevin Owens show and just said, I can pick up with Roman anytime. I'm going to focus on Raw. You just got battered. You just got choked out and you won the match by disqualification. So why are you not bothered? Why did you turn up on Raw not first? Why did you not? You should have not turned up on Raw at all and then turned up on SmackDown and fucked Roman up, and then said, "I'm not a free agent. My contract is on Raw, and they won't give me a match, but I needed to send you a message," and then went back, but they just left it. The whole Bobby Lashley and Brock. I told you guys what was going to happen before that. So the payoff was to get Brock in the Rumble. But if it was just to if this is all just to get a match between Roman and Brock, then there was no need for Brock to win the Royal Rumble, because someone else could have won the Royal Rumble, um, and you could have had something there with the champion, whoever comes out the elimination champion, 11 elimination champion as champion. Now what we have is just this back and forth going around in circles, and we wasted the whole pay per view. The women's Royal Rumble was won by Ronda. No payoff for any of the women who've been working their ass off. Then now the women's Royal Rumble match was better than the men's one, but no payoff for anyone. Even for people to just look strong in the match, there wasn't a payoff. You didn't need Ronda to come back and win the Royal Rumble to get her a match at WrestleMania. Now, they're thinking, their ideas behind this is Ronda brings in the crowd, she draws big money, but she doesn't. I'm not a guy who cares about the views and stuff like that, because I care about what I like, but I checked when Ronda was there before, and they had spikes when she was first there, and it was just disappeared. Once the initial her coming out of WrestleMania or Royal Rumble after Oscar had won, there was nothing. That Ronda spot could have been Oscar in the Royal Rumble. It could have been Bailey in the Royal Rumble. So it done nothing. She won't make any more money for WWE. They'll pay her big money, and she won't bring anyone else in. Meanwhile, we had all these people who were released who have the talent, and you could have split her wages and used them on these people. Now, I said before, I'm not about anyone losing their job, but wrestling's not Ronda's job. You know what I mean? These guys who go on tour and bust their ass, that's their job. So there's no payoff. So and then Edge and Maurice. No, Edge and Beth versus Maurice and Miz. That match wasn't really supposed to have a payoff, but at the same time, I'm kind of getting bored. Not of Edge himself, but I'm getting bored of seeing Edge at a pay per view. But every time the pay per view finishes, whether he wins or loses, we don't see him after. It's like Edge is at the tail end of his career now. Let's give him the big stuff to go for. Let's give him the matches. Let's get Edge into that elimination chamber. That's my views on it. But wrestling doesn't really make sense, because there's just so much stuff that like where has the Austin Theory and Vince McMahon segments gone? Why was Shane in the Royal Rumble, and then there was talk about him being released, even though he owns part of the company? It was all a bit weird for me. And then there's talk about him backstage with the wrestlers not being happy because he was trying to write certain things and all that. I don't flipping know. When I first got into wrestling, it was heavily character based. We've transitioned away from it, but combat slightly. The attitude era, but has completely died out. It's ridiculous bland now. Yep, I agree. The women's Royal Rumble is way better than the men's. It was way better. Too many vanilla wrestlers. Take Ricochet, for example. He's high flying elite wrestler. He's not a story based character. He's one of done match kind of guy. That's why if you put Ricochet in AEW, he looks amazing straight away, because they're not focused on the stories as such. He's an indie style wrestler. Remember when we were watching him as King Puma and all these people when he was in New Japan and Lucha Underground and stuff, there was no talking. He just wrestled. The match what everyone raved on about, which was a bit too choreographed for me, but it was, choreographed for me. Still a great match between him and Will Ospreay. Was just loads and loads of moves and high flying stuff. There was no talking in it. So you're right. He will always be in catering in WWE, because when they tried to put a character on him, it was weird. He started wearing like black jeans and trying to fight Sheamus and putting hats on and dancing. That's why you fit into NXT, because NXT was a hybrid of indie wrestling and pro wrestling on TV. He was a mix. The other two was too separate apart from it. They are vanilla. Part of the reason for that as well is not just based on some of the wrestlers just not being good at what they do. They are. I don't think WWE want them to be larger than life anymore. I don't. Every time we've had a larger than life character, Bray, Aleister Black, Samoa Joe, these people have all been released, so they're trying to tell us a story there. And the only ones that have kept are the ones who make them big. Like, you know already off the top of your head that Roman's always going to bring the money in. You know what I mean? Don't know that from just merch sales and stuff. So, 5 superstars going after Bobby's title. Yeah, I don't mind that because it's elimination chamber and that's quite normal. Um, problem is Bobby just going to lose? Because then why did you make him champion? This is what I'm saying. Like, you might as well have had Brock just beat him if that was the case and just skip all of that. Have the elimination chamber for a title opportunity and not the title. Because Brock's going to win this elimination chamber, isn't he? So I don't know. Or is Roman or the Usos just going to get involved again and stop him so they can have that match? Exactly. WWE is not indie wrestling landscape. They want entertainment based, overhyped, and bloated characters. WWE is not pinnacle company. Yeah, it's not. It's not. When I said before to people that WWE will always be on top, I don't think I was wrong. I stand by what I said, but I meant it in a certain way. AEW can't catch up to WWE commercially. They've got 50 years on them. Like, they can't catch up because it's the wrong time. If AEW came out in 2000, 2002, well, then again, wrestling WWE was better then. But say WWE was how it is now in 2002, AEW would be the biggest company, biggest wrestling company in the world. There won't be that because the world tours, the arenas, the merchandise, and I'm talking about you can get AEW merchandise, but you ain't going into the most random B&M bargain corner shop and seeing AEW stuff. You see WWE stuff in places that shouldn't even have WWE stuff, in the Boss Man shop on the corner, because it's that much of a big company. The curtains, the cushions, the mugs, the bubble bath. This is, you know what I mean? And for them kids, they've grown up on it. Even if you was a kid, even if you was born around WrestleMania 30, you'll still be a WWE fan over AEW. Whereas AEW fans are us, aren't they? They are already of a certain age. You'll have the couple of kids from school and that who want to be cool, but that's not the way to be cool in school anymore because of social media. Everyone's about growing up fast. So you'll have a few kids who won't want to say, "Oh, I watch WWE still." They don't want to watch Reggie running around, so they'll say that they're AEW fans. But you look at the crowd at WWE and look at the crowd at AEW. Listen, I can see straight off the bat that it's damn near at a stretch. I'll say 15, but I'm saying that's a 17 plus crowd in AEW. Whereas in WWE, you see little kids dressed up as John Cena and Bailey and stuff still, and then grown men dressed like that as well. So they do have the bigger landscape, and they will sell the company eventually, and it'll just get bigger because within all these releases and with all this going rubbish, they've not lost any money. They've made money. So shout out to Dro Savage. Who you got? My guy Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman or Goldberg? Come on, man. That's not even a question, bro. That's not even a question. Roman Reigns will destroy him. I'm not gonna put a caveat at it. If Roman Reigns loses to Goldberg, you're gonna see the mass. The internet they won't see a bigger rant than what I will give. There's no way Goldberg beats Roman Reigns. No way. Even if Brock Lesnar tries to get involved, there's no way Roman Reigns loses to Brock Lesnar. I mean to Goldberg. You heard it here. There's no way. I'll lose my damn shit, man. Savage, are you gonna back? Are you going back to AEW Rampage? Do you mean my reactions? Comes out on the same day as SmackDown, isn't it? Yeah, they just won't have the video on it because I'm not getting my channel took down, but I'll do them. Normally Jay Cargill's wrestling there, and I love Jay Cargill, man. So, and I said certain types of wrestlers that suited WWE. The Curse Sami Zayn's not good enough on the stick. The guys that are wrestling indie based, Timmy Thatcher, Ricochet, are very different. I 100% agree. WWE have gone. Listen, like I said, you guys know my feeling on Vince McMahon on this channel, innit? I know if anyone wants to say that I'm kissing ass, and I'm never gonna destroy the guy, just like I wouldn't destroy Tony Khan. Because let's be honest, Vince McMahon is the reason why I've got this channel. Not in terms of like I'm not talented enough to do whatever, but I mean, I don't know if I would have been into wrestling if Vince McMahon wasn't the boss of WWE at the time. So, Pablo is on a stiff one back there. You know what I mean? But he's clearly behind the scenes, business wise, not just on the promos, but is handed the reins to Nick Khan. You can time it perfectly. Just go on Google and Google when Nick Khan got his job and align it with the timeline of WWE changing and getting worse and NXT getting worse. I'm telling you, bro, because this guy's a marketing genius. That's what he's there to make money. And guess what? He's made them loads of money, billions. But in that process, he's changed everything. The 2-day pay-per-views all of a sudden, even though Sunday was damn near traditional for us all. We probably could have dealt with Saturdays, but like the 2-day pay-per-views a bit weird. The fact that like basically anyone who's too creative in the WWE is gone, and anyone who is creative and are still around work hand in hand with Vince and Paul Heyman and Bruce Pritchard and stuff like that. I'm gonna say this, that if Undertaker was 10 years younger and was in WWE now, he would have snapped and killed someone, bro. He would have been choke slamming bosses and that because they would have ruined him. So yeah, it's a bit of a mad one. But yeah, man, I'll leave it there. Any questions, drop them in now. I'm gonna jump off in a minute because I've already fed Pablo. But I got a Liverpool match to watch, like that. So ask anything you want and then I'll get out of here in the next 5 minutes. Savage, I want the match to be an elimination chamber, something shocking stipulation for the fans. Oh, the match for Goldberg and Roman, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to happen. It should be, though. Nick Khan was brought in to maximize the company assets and to make as much money. Part 3 Vince will sell. Yep, been saying it. I've been saying it. I do. I'm not like a smart ass, so I've seen a few channels that they pop up on the algorithm and that, and some people, I'm not gonna lie, some wrestling channels I'm disgusted in. Not their channels crap. Some of them are really, the way they've got the layouts and stuff are cool, but the way they talk about fans who have different opinions and stuff like that, I hate it. It's like you're dumb if somebody says they liked an episode of Raw, you stupid, you dumb fan. You're a bitch boy, you love Vince and all this business. I can't deal with all that business. It's very weird to me. But in terms of, I do pay attention to the business part. One of the reasons why I pay attention to WWE business wise is I've got shares in WWE. They're not shares where I can do anything, but the shares where I can make money. You know what I mean? Stock market and that. One of the companies I put money into about 10 years ago. So it was interesting to see. And my money hasn't gone down one bit. So it's like, I haven't even bothered to take it out. It hasn't gone down one bit because their views on TV might drop, but in the boardroom, they're laughing. And if Disney or someone go and buy it, Netflix, Amazon, buy WWE. Remember, Vince is a billionaire, but he ain't got Disney money and he ain't got Amazon money. If one of those guys decide to take it over, if Amazon decides to take it over and then all of a sudden we get pay-per-views on Amazon Prime, because I'm expecting them to do that with football as well. Could be a game changer. It's going to be interesting though, because sales don't work the way everyone thinks they work. You don't just buy a company and all of a sudden you get to say whatever you say. What will happen is people will sell their shares in the company. Vince I think, I'm not 100% correct, but I think Vince's shares in WWE now are around like 55%. So he gets the majority say in the company because he's got more shares in the company, whereas everyone else has like 5%, 10%, 5%. When he sells it, I don't know if he'll be just selling his shares, but then there's still Stephanie and Shane, and then they might not sell their shares. I don't think Stephanie will. But then again, you never know. You know what I mean? She looks great in that, but they're all getting not old, because I don't believe that, but they're getting older, and we'll get to the point where it's like, do you even want to stress myself out with this when I can be a billionaire and just chill every day and just do other ventures and have a little podcast and that? And I can see that happening. Triple H just having a little podcast, getting ex wrestlers on there, chilling on his money, or does Triple H end up with some kind of shares in this company and continues, or does he make his own company? Because clearly he can do it. But he don't have Tony Khan money and he doesn't have the pool now. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, NXT with Toxic Attraction, it means nothing, but I love Mandy. Oh, it means nothing. Yeah, Toxic Attraction's a bit weird on it. I don't begrudge anyone on NXT. They're all trying, but they've made this one clear now that the reason why they changed it, made it all colourful, they made it developmental even more now. Whereas the other one was like developmental, but the people that they were getting from the indies and stuff have already been developed. They just needed to learn how to work on TV and the hard cams and the promos. So people like Keith Lee and Samoa Joe and Adam Cole, Alistair Black, Dijak, all these people they were already wrestlers. They didn't come from the performance center, so they knew how to do everything. It was just camera time and stuff like that. Pete, Savage, your thoughts on that? Finally, we had 2 women matches on Dynamite last night. I do concede the women's division isn't strong, but there are talented girls. Yeah. First of all, I agree with them being underutilized. Second of all, it was dope to see. It was dope to see. I'm happy with that. I've got a lot of faith in the women's division in AEW. It's not the best right now, but the talent is that no Keith Lee pun, but talent is limitless, and they just need to hit the right mark of it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because without being disrespectful to AEW, I don't think AEW will get casual viewers. Now WWE their casual viewers are dying because if you tune in to AEW or WWE at any week now, it doesn't really matter if you've missed 6 weeks before. All you need to know is who's the heels and who's the baby faces, and then you can just jump straight back in. If you'd watched Raw this week, there was nothing on Raw, what you had missed from weeks before, that you wouldn't have been able to pick it straight back up. If you take this into not real life, sorry. If you take this into movies, and the reason why I use the movies as an example because it's scripts and it's stories and stuff like that, or say a Netflix program, which is probably better. Most popular thing on TV right now, Ozark, maybe, Euphoria, Power. Go just get to episode 2 of Ozark, and then just go skip to episode 8 and then watch it and see what happens to you. You're gonna be so flipping confused. Reason why? Because the stories are so perfect that you need to see the next episode. You can't. If I miss something because someone's talking in my house or Pablo barks or he's messing around, I have to skip it back 60 seconds to hear what was missed because I might have missed something very important. Could be somebody whispering something. It could be a woman or a man saying "I love you" to each other, and they're not in the couple. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to skip back, bro. The amount of times I watch Raw and AEW and I missed out on, or I can go toilet now, which I wouldn't have done before unless it was an advert. I can go toilet in the middle of a show now. More on WWE side because AEW, when the match is on, I don't want to miss what's going on in the match. But anything in between with the promo, I'll just go toilet. You're not missing anything, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. But that's how it is now. You was never, forget the Attitude Era, because I don't have to go that far. Ruthless Aggression. You was no way you was going to the toilet in 2004 while certain segments were going on. You needed to know what Austin said, what The Rock said, what Kurt Angle said, because it has a bearing on what's going to happen. Where's the cliffhangers? We don't finish on cliffhangers anymore. We also get people just walking up the ramp. Why are you allowed to beat somebody now and just get away with it? Why are you allowed to attack somebody and then they don't come after you the next episode, which is what it is? Why are heels losing and then not coming out the next day and making excuses like they used to? Because that's what would happen. They need to tell you that like the fans were distracting them, all these different little things. You know what I'm saying? Times have changed. It is what it is. There was a part 6 months, 8 months ago that was stressing me out a little bit for a month because it's bothering me that the thing I loved had changed so much. But it's happening everywhere. Times are changing. Wrestling's changing. Football's changing. Movies are changing. You know what I mean? All the movies now are remakes of stuff or continuation of something what started 20 years ago. Football in the UK is turning into like American football, which I like. So the Super Bowl's coming up. I'm a fan of that as well. But things are merging into each other. Technology is getting too much involved in everything, and the human element of stuff has gone. Trust me, we'll get WWE in the metaverse soon, an AEW where we'll put the goggles on and we'll be in the arena. And then, yeah, man, it'll be done forever, but it is what it is. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I need to get prepped up for my Liverpool match. Savage, how do you feel about RK Pro and Alpha Academy quiz? Well, the problem is that was the most fun thing on Raw, which is why I have an issue with Raw. The best thing on Raw was the whole Alpha Academy and RK Bro. So there's my answer to that. Shout out to you, Nima. Hi, Savage. Been a while. Yeah, man. Shout out to you, bro. I did like you thingy what you put up on Instagram earlier. Shout out to you, brother. Advanced storylines haven't been around for so long now. It's just standalone shows. No consistency. Zero consistency, Anna. Zero. Um, as long as you know the wrestlers, as long as you know one or two wrestlers that are in the company now, you can jump back in. You know what I mean? So my mum probably couldn't jump in now because she was just constantly Undertaker, 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 and stuff like that. Um, but anyone else, yeah, you just jump back in. Um, which is the reason why everyone was saying if The Rock comes back to fight Roman, and I was like, well, no, because The Rock's so busy that he can't have time for a story. Well, I guess the way it's going now, standalone is fine. In fact, the last story we had, convincing story, was Roman and the Usos. Been the best story we've had in wrestling for ages. The whole family thing. But yeah, man, here's what it is. And a question: what is that thing? What's happening at Wembley with WWE this month? It come up on my Instagram yesterday. I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't have time to buy tickets or anything. But they said that there's something going on at Wembley Stadium. It's got WWE, and it's got like Austin or something on the trailer. So if you can let me know what that is the Elimination Chamber going to be at Money in the Bank? What NBC action? NBC and Money in the no what is? Goddamn, my bad. Is Elimination Chamber going to be at NBC action? I don't know what that is, to be honest. I know Elimination Chambers in Saudi Arabia. 19th, I think. I don't know, Saturday or something. Oh, be after. I think I got a football match at 3 o'clock on that day, and then I'll jump in and do watch along. Maybe I ain't gonna lie, I might end up doing a watch along on that day just for the certain matches, man. We'll see, we'll see. But there's no Mustafa Ali, and yeah, I don't want to make a joke about it, bro. It's actually just terrible that they got rid of him. To be fair, but yeah, I'm gonna head out of here, guys. Thanks for joining me. If you join in later, hit the like button. Um, everyone who joined me in this live chat, shout out to you guys. I hope you're well. Stay safe and all that business. You know them way there. Yeah, man. Glad to see you over here, man. There weren't as much in the chat today, man, which is quite weird considering everyone wanted me to do a savage talk. But it is what it is. Sometimes I want to talk wrestling anyway, so it's not a problem. Have some more videos coming in the week, some more reactions and stuff like that. Shout out to you, Amin. Shout out to you, Nima. Shout out to you, Anna. I think shout out to you, Dro, if you're still there as well. But I'm gonna get the hell out of here. You already know the vibes, man. I've been your boy Hugo the Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, share, run.